You guys are 100 people now. You were at Grafana when you went from 200 to 1400. What are some of the things that you're going to pull from the Grafana days now looking ahead to Supabase? And, how, I guess, where do you start? Like, you're a few months in, only one other recruiter. Now you're tasked with hiring a bunch of people, high growth company. Like, what's first for you?
Yeah, I think it's always interesting joining new companies too, because of course, like one playbook that works at one place doesn't always work at another place. But I think there's some of those key indicators that you can start to plan for. So, for example, like making sure all of our kickoffs are really tight for the roles and figuring out, hey, is everyone aligned on what we're looking for as we scale? And what does that look like across teams and hiring managers and interviewers? So that's been a big part of my first couple months here, is going back and saying, hey, even what you were looking for 3 months ago, is that the same as what you're looking for now? And then being really clear on like scorecards and focus areas for folks, so that when we do press go, everybody's aligned and kind of has those marching orders, so to speak, of, okay, here's what I'm focusing on. Here's what good looks like, so that we know what some of those things are. So that's been a big focus, especially being async, where we don't necessarily have like live debriefs.
Hmm.
It's tweaking what that looks like before we get to the wave coming. I think another piece too is like prepping for that scale. For example, I just pulled some numbers, and based on like before I started, interviews week over week have increased 163%. Kind of expected if you're like doubling your recruiting team essentially, but I think that brings so many potential breaking points coming of, okay, we have this core subset of interviewers that worked before. We might need to expand that. Do we have interview training? What does that look like? And it's not just giving somebody a template of here's questions to ask. It's also making sure leaders feel comfortable with that handoff and what that interview training looks like. And, how do we empower people to feel comfortable on interviews and all of that good stuff. So I think it's a lot of that calm before the storm planning of figuring out, hey, what breaking points have I seen and what are we going to start to prep for on that front?